The text message came while I was folding laundry on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. My phone buzzed and I saw my sister Miranda's name flash across the screen. "Don't come to my restaurant opening. You'll embarrass us." I stared at the words, reading them 3 times to make sure I understood correctly. My sister. The one I'd helped move into her first apartment after college. The one I'd lent money to when she was starting her catering business. The one I'd spent countless hours encouraging through every doubt and setback. Before I could respond, another message appeared. "Mom agrees. Your husband's background doesn't fit our brand image." Our brand image. As if my presence alone could tarnish whatever sophisticated atmosphere she'd spent 2 years cultivating. As if David, who worked 12-hour days and never complained, somehow wasn't good enough for her opening night guest list. Then nothing. I tried to reply, but the messages wouldn't go through. She'd blocked me. I sat down on the edge of the bed staring at my phone. Miranda had been planning this restaurant for 2 years. She'd sent constant updates. Photos of the space, menu tastings, design mock-ups. I'd been excited for her. Our whole family had been. But apparently I wasn't invited anymore. My husband, David, came home an hour later, loosening his tie as he walked through the door. He looked tired, the way he always did after back-to-back meetings. But he still smiled when he saw me, the kind of genuine smile that had made me fall in love with him 10 years ago. He took one look at my face and stopped. The smile disappeared. What happened? I showed him the messages. He read them twice, his jaw tightening with each word. Then he pulled out his phone and made a call. "Marcus? It's David. I need you to pull the file on 447 Westbrook Avenue. Yes, that property. Send me everything by tonight, including the original lease agreement and all addendums." He hung up and looked at me, his expression carefully neutral. "When's the opening?" "This Saturday." "Perfect timing," he said quietly. I didn't understand then. David worked in commercial real estate, but he never talked much about specific properties. He managed portfolios for investors, handled lease negotiations, dealt with property disputes. It was boring work, he always said, nothing worth discussing over dinner. Just numbers, contracts, and endless paperwork. The next 3 days passed slowly. Miranda posted constantly on social media. Photos of the restaurant's interior, exposed brick and Edison bulbs. Videos of the kitchen staff prepping for the grand opening, their white coats pristine as they arranged plates with tweezers. Shots of the custom-designed bar, backlit bottles gleaming like jewels. Each post got hundreds of likes. Friends and acquaintances commented with fire emojis and congratulations. "Can't wait to try it," and "looks amazing." My mother commented on every post, "So proud of you," and "Can't wait for Saturday," and "My daughter, the restaurateur." I wasn't mentioned once. Not in the posts, not in the comments, not in any of the behind-the-scenes stories Miranda shared. It was as if I'd been erased from her life entirely. Thursday evening, David came home with a folder full of documents. He spread them across the dining table. "I need you to understand something," he said. 5 years ago I started investing in commercial properties. Small buildings at first, then larger ones. I never mentioned it because I didn't want to seem like I was showing off. I nodded slowly. 447 Westbrook Avenue, he continued, is one of mine. I own the building. My stomach dropped. Miranda's restaurant? Yes. Does she know? The lease was signed through a property management company. All the paperwork went through them. She's never met me, never seen my name except on the lease agreement, which she probably didn't read carefully. I looked at the documents. Sure enough, David's name was listed as the property owner. Miranda's restaurant, Elevation, had signed a 5-year lease at a monthly rate that made my eyes widen. "What are you going to do?" I asked. "Nothing yet," he said. "Let's see how Saturday goes." The morning of the opening my phone rang. It was my mother. "Miranda's so excited," she said, not bothering with a greeting. "The restaurant looks amazing. Everyone who's anyone will be there tonight." "That's great, Mom. Your father and I are so proud. Finally, someone in the family is doing something impressive." The implication hung in the air. I'd been a teacher for 8 years. David and I lived comfortably, but we weren't flashy. We didn't post about expensive vacations or designer purchases. In my family's eyes, we were boring. Unremarkable. "I hope it goes well," I said. "It will." Miranda has excellent taste. She knows how to surround herself with the right people. After she hung up, I looked at David. Are you sure about this? He kissed my forehead. Get dressed. We're going out for dinner tonight. Where? I made reservations at Elevation. My heart started pounding. David. We're not crashing. We're paying customers. The restaurant is open to the public tonight. He was right technically. Miranda had advertised it as a grand opening, not a private event. Anyone could make a reservation. We arrived at 7. The restaurant was packed, every table full. I spotted my parents immediately, sitting at a prime table near the window with Miranda and her husband, Kyle. They were laughing, glasses of champagne raised in a toast. The hostess greeted us with a professional smile. Good evening. Do you have a reservation? Yes, David said. Under Morrison. She checked her tablet, frowned, then checked again. I'm sorry, I don't see. Try the owner's list, David said quietly. Her expression changed instantly. Oh, Mr. Morrison. Of course. Right this way. She led us to a small table near the back. Not the best location, but we had a clear view of my family's table. It took Miranda 15 minutes to notice us. She'd been making rounds, greeting guests and posing for photos. When her eyes landed on me, she froze mid-sentence. She excused herself from her conversation and marched over, Kyle trailing behind her. What are you doing here? She hissed, keeping her voice low enough that nearby tables couldn't hear. Having dinner, I said calmly. The braised short ribs look excellent. I told you not to come. You're embarrassing us. David set down his menu. How exactly is she embarrassing you? Miranda looked at him like he was something unpleasant she'd stepped in. No offense, but this is a high-end establishment. Our clientele expects a certain atmosphere. Interesting, David said. And what atmosphere is that? Sophisticated. Elegant. People who understand fine dining. I see. He pulled his phone from his pocket. And does your landlord count as sophisticated? Miranda blinked. What? Your landlord. The person who owns this building. The one you're paying $12,000 a month to rent this space. Kyle stepped forward. What are you talking about? David showed them his phone screen. It displayed a property deed with his name clearly listed as the owner. Miranda's face went white. That's not possible. It's very possible. In fact, it's documented with the city. Would you like to see the lease you signed? I have a copy right here. He pulled up another document. Miranda's signature was at the bottom, dated 6 months ago. You're lying, she said, but her voice had lost its conviction. Am I? Call your property management company. Ask them who owns 447 Westbrook Avenue. Kyle grabbed Miranda's arm. Inside. Now. They disappeared into the kitchen. Through the window in the door, I could see Miranda on her phone, pacing frantically. My parents had noticed the commotion. My mother was staring at our table in confusion. 10 minutes later, Miranda emerged. Her face was red, her eyes glassy. Kyle looked like he might be sick. She walked back to our table slowly. I just spoke with Cornerstone Property Management. And? David asked. They confirmed it. You own the building. Correct. She sat down without being invited, pulling up a chair from a nearby table. I don't understand. Why didn't you say something when I signed the lease? You didn't ask. The lease went through the proper channels. Everything was handled professionally. But, she looked at me. You knew. I found out Thursday. And you didn't tell me? I met her eyes. You blocked me, Miranda. Remember? I was too embarrassing to attend your opening. She flinched. Kyle leaned forward. Look, maybe we got off on the wrong foot here. We've been under a lot of stress with the opening. I understand stress, David said. I also understand respect. Your wife sent mine a message saying she'd embarrass you. That my background doesn't fit your brand image. I didn't mean, Miranda started. What exactly did you mean? I asked. That David's not good enough? That I married someone beneath our family's standards? She couldn't answer. My mother appeared at our table. What's going on? Miranda, you look upset. Mom, Miranda said weakly, this is awkward, but David owns the building, I said clearly. He's Miranda's landlord. My mother's mouth opened and closed silently. That's impossible, she finally said. Your teacher. He works in real estate but not. I manage commercial properties, David said. Including this one. I've owned it for 3 years. My father joined us, drink in hand. What's all this? My mother grabbed his arm. David owns the building. What building? This building. The restaurant. My father looked at David with new eyes. You're the landlord? Yes, sir. Well. He cleared his throat. That's quite an investment. I have several throughout the city. This one's been particularly profitable. The previous tenant paid significantly less than market rate. Miranda's eyes widened. Wait, are you saying I'm overpaying? Not at all. You're paying current market rate for a prime downtown location. The previous tenant had a grandfathered lease from before the neighborhood gentrified. Kyle's face had gone pale. How much less did they pay? $7,000 a month. Miranda grabbed the edge of the table. We could have negotiated. You could have tried. But market rate is market rate. I gave you a fair deal based on comparable properties. The restaurant's general manager approached nervously. Mr. Morrison? I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need your signature on the liquor license amendment. Miranda stared. You know him. Of course, the manager said. Mr. Morrison approves all major operational changes per the lease agreement. The liquor license required his consent. David signed the document the manager handed him. Everything looks good, Thomas. Carry on. After the manager left, Miranda buried her face in her hands. This is a nightmare. It doesn't have to be, David said. You have a beautiful restaurant. The food is excellent. You've clearly worked hard. But she looked at me. I said terrible things. Yes, I agreed. You did. I'm sorry. Tears streamed down her face now. I was so focused on impressing everyone, on proving I'd made it, that I lost sight of what actually matters. You're my sister. I should have been proud to have you here. My mother was crying too. We've been awful. All of us. We treated you like you weren't successful enough, like David wasn't good enough. He owns half the downtown corridor, my father muttered, still looking stunned. 6 buildings, David corrected. Not quite half. Kyle stood abruptly. I need to check on the kitchen. He fled, leaving Miranda alone with us. What happens now? She asked quietly. Are you going to evict us? David shook his head. Your lease is solid. As long as you pay rent on time and maintain the property, you have nothing to worry about. Really? Really? This is business. I don't let personal feelings interfere with business decisions. She wiped her eyes. Can I make this up to you somehow? I looked at my sister, really looked at her. She was exhausted, mascara smudged, her perfect opening night ruined by her own prejudice. Unblock my number, I said. Start there. She pulled out her phone immediately. A moment later my phone buzzed. A message from Miranda. I'm so sorry. Now enjoy your opening, I said. You worked hard for this. Don't let our family drama ruin it. She nodded, standing slowly. Thank you. As she walked away, my parents lingered. We owe you both an apology, my mother said. A serious one. Yes, I agreed. You do. Your father and I have been snobs. We measured success by all the wrong things. My father nodded. I'm ashamed of how we've acted. David, you've been nothing but good to our daughter, and we treated you like you weren't worth our time. I appreciate that, David said carefully. They returned to their table, leaving us alone. David picked up his menu again. Still want the short ribs? I laughed, surprised I could. Absolutely. The rest of the evening passed quietly. The food was exceptional. Miranda had real talent. As we ate, I watched her work the room, her confidence gradually returning. She caught my eye once and smiled hesitantly. I smiled back. When the check came, David handed over his credit card. No charge, our server said nervously. Ms. Miranda said your meal is complimentary. Tell her we insist on paying, David said. We're customers like everyone else. The server took the card reluctantly. As we left, Miranda caught us at the door. Thank you for coming. Really? The food was excellent, I said honestly. Will you come back? Maybe for Sunday brunch? I promise, no drama. I looked at David. He nodded. We'll be here, I said. Outside the night air was cool. David took my hand as we walked to the car. You handled that well, I said. So did you. I can't believe you own her building. He laughed. Sometimes life has a sense of humor. My phone buzzed. A text from Miranda. I love you. I'm sorry I forgot that. I typed back, I love you too. As we drove home, I thought about family, about pride, about the strange ways life teaches us lessons. Miranda had her restaurant. My parents had their wake-up call. And I had a husband who'd stood beside me quietly, letting the truth speak louder than any argument could. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's just living well and letting the people who underestimated you discover their mistake on their own. The restaurant would succeed or fail on its own merits. But tonight at least something more important had happened. My family had finally seen me. Really seen me. And that was worth more than any lease agreement.